Next on the Night Beat, a breaking story east of the river. A body discovered, a tragic accident, or a deliberate act of violence. Think heroes are just in the movies? Well, think again. And David Letterman, a Whalers fan? We spoke with him tonight.
Live from WFSB, this is Eyewitness News Night Beat.
Good evening. A breaking story, a possible case of murder unfolding right now.
Yes, a body's been found in the woods in Marlborough. Channel 3's Dennis House is on the scene right now with our Night Beat big story tonight. Dennis, what can you tell us?
That's all right. Al, state police say they may have solved a missing persons case, but now they may have a murder case on their hands. I'm at the very edge of the Salmon River State Forest tonight, where the gruesome discovery was made late this afternoon. Now, investigators say a man was apparently surveying his property when he came across the badly decomposed body near the Dickinson Creek. The State Police Major Crimes Unit was called in and sealed off the area. They are still on the area right now, combing the whole region for clues. Now, state police do tell us they believe the body is that of a person who disappeared in the suburban Hartford area, perhaps in Rocky Hill, in January. Of the victim until the family is notified, although at this point it appears to have been the body of a male. Foul play is suspected, but police are not saying how the victim met his or her demise. Al?
Dennis, what about the age of the victim? Do they have any information on that?
No, they're not saying anything about the victim right now, as I mentioned. However, we are told that the homeowner who did cooperate with police, the man who found the victim, is cooperating with police fully, and he has been ruled out as a suspect. All right.
Well, we appreciate that update from Marlborough. Dennis House.
Two Brantford police officers were assaulted tonight after a confrontation with two brothers. It happened when police went to investigate what they describe as a suspicious activity going on at a commuter parking lot near exit 53 of I-95. Police say one of the suspects, who was using a cane, swung it at one of the officers and then punched the officer in the mouth. A second officer tried to subdue the suspect with pepper spray, but ended up taking the brunt of it.
There'll be no arrest tonight, but Manchester police say they do have a prime suspect in mind, so the arrest is imminent in the fatal shooting of 54-year-old Gail Isley, ambushed in her driveway after coming home from work late Tuesday night. Police won't identify the suspect, but sources have said a man claiming to have committed the murder showed up at a mental facility in Newington. She said demons in her sofa made her do it, set fire to her apartment. But Martha Copeland of Bristol now faces up to 11 years in prison after being found guilty of arson. The judge who convicted her says Copeland had been drinking, but she wasn't so drunk that she didn't know what she was doing.
It's a late night at the Capitol tonight as lawmakers debate the budget and how much money we all ultimately pay. Channel 3's Tracy Martinez is live at the Capitol right now. Tracy?
Good evening, Denise. After several hours of Democratic caucusing, we are now waiting for the Senate to vote on the budget. A revised budget was passed 136-11 by the House earlier this evening. In only about 2 hours, next year's $10.14 billion state budget sailed through the House of Representatives.
What you saw presented today was essentially the work product of a bipartisan working coalition, and everybody gets to take some credit for all the good in the budget.
Higher education received a budget boost, the House restoring about $5 million more than the governor's plan. However, social services were cut once again.
I think it's fair to say that the services will be diminished, and that's an indication of the times that we're living in, because we just don't have the revenues by which we can do better.
As promised, considerable cuts coming out of welfare. Employable recipients used to receive $300 a month. Now they will get $100. And another hot-button topic, gas tax increases. An amendment that one representative says would have stopped an 8-cent increase this January, voted down almost unanimously.
In essence, the amendment would have blown a $115 million hole in the budget that we negotiated.
And in other action taken today, insurance companies can no longer deny coverage based on a history of breast cancer, and insurance plans must cover a minimum 48-hour hospital stay after childbirth.
And I think we're taking an important step towards providing better health care for women and their families.
Now the vote is not expected to go quite as smoothly through the Senate. Some Senate Democrats do have some amendments to the budget. However, I spoke to some Senate Republicans who tell me they have no doubt they have enough votes to pass this budget as is. Reporting live at the Capitol, I'm Tracy Martinez. Back to you, Al and Denise.
All right, Tracy. Another big story at the Capitol. The chairman of Connecticut's Gaming Policy Board has resigned amid questions about his relationship with the owner of a Bridgeport dog track. Francis Muska, seen here on CT 95 last year, stepped down after a front-page story in the Hartford Courant today. The paper reported Muska traveled to Las Vegas with Robert Zeff, owner of a Greyhound track, just hours after the gaming board voted to exempt Zeff from a new state police background check.
We will not tolerate unethical behavior in gaming issues. We will not tolerate unethical behavior among state employees or people serving in this administration.
Now, Governor Lewellyn also urged the gaming board to reverse its decision and follow through with a background check on Zeff. Muska said he was resigning for personal family reasons and because of adverse media coverage.
Shots rang out inside a bank in Van Nuys, California today as 3 robbers armed with machine guns staged a holdup, but no one was hurt. The suspects wearing ski masks and dark blue coats. They were gone by the time police arrived and surrounded the building, and terrified customers came out with their hands up.
Other stories making news around America tonight. Joseph Waldholz, the estranged husband of Utah Congresswoman Enid Waldholz, is charged with bank fraud. A 27-count indictment accuses Waldholz in a check-kiting scheme involving almost $3 million in worthless checks. Mrs. Waldholz is not accused in that scheme. President Clinton is praising the Justice Department for breaking up a coast-to-coast Mexican-Colombian cocaine ring. Federal agents rounded up more than 150 people all around the country in an operation called Zorro 2. The suspects range from drug couriers and dealers to street-level crack cocaine dealers. Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat urges the UN to give the Middle East peace process a helping nudge. Arafat met with UN Secretary General Boutros Ghali under unprecedented security. More than 100 police officers and dozens of federal agents were on guard for the visit.
Connecticut Governor John Rowland tonight is turning to Washington to try to get some help for Connecticut's flood victims. The governor is asking President Clinton for money to help victims of the flooding that drenched the state in mid-April. Damage estimates have topped $1.5 million. And Attorney General Richard Blumenthal is still pushing for a state probe of operations at the Northeast Utilities Millstone nuclear facility. All 3 reactors have been shut down as the feds investigate safety problems. Without the electricity these plants generate, Connecticut could be hit with power shortages during the hottest days of the summer to come.
A big night for the city of Hartford as First Thursday celebrates a first birthday. Big crowd on hand tonight at the Civic Center to cut the birthday cake, enough to feed 1,000 people. For 1 year now, locals have been connecting the dots for fun and helping to keep downtown business.
I think it's fantastic because everybody can get together, go to different spots and just hang out and have fun, and there's different entertainments. I think it's fantastic.
Thousands attended First Thursday birthday celebrations at various locations throughout Hartford tonight.
I saw them making the cake last night. I tried to stick my finger in the frosting, but they shooed me away.
Well, I'm glad they did.
Hey, we have an announcement coming on the Whalers season ticket drive, and it is just hours away. Later on tonight, Harvey will tell us what he's been hearing about a possible extension of the drive.
Also tonight, see why your kitchen may be better than your medicine cabinet to help your kids. And we spoke one-on-one with David Letterman a few hours ago. He lives in Connecticut. Does he have his Whalers tickets?
Also tonight, the story of a teenage hero. He saves lives by leaping into action on an out-of-control school bus.
Al, Denise, weather under control tonight, but we've got some showers heading in our direction, and that will play a role in our weekend forecast with Sunday, the better of the 2 days. A full forecast coming up shortly.
A group of Indiana school children on a runaway bus have a teenager to thank for their lives. The driver, you see, had suffered a seizure and lost control of the bus. And as this security camera video shows, the kids found themselves on a terrifying ride. But 17-year-old John Waldron took over and was able to bring the bus to a safe stop just before it would have plunged into a creek. And a truck burst into flames on I-84 in Hartford this morning, causing quite a traffic jam. The driver says he had just filled his tank with gas and was driving along the highway when another driver alerted him that the back of his truck was on fire, but no one was hurt.
In tonight's To Your Health Report, more young people are dying of asthma, and blacks are especially at risk. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says asthma fatalities more than doubled between 1980 and 1993, the most recent year studied. And in certain age groups, blacks were 6 times more likely than whites to die of asthma. One specialist says the difference between the races may have something to do with poor access to health care among blacks. Well, it's a drug that poses a riddle: to medicate or not to medicate a child with attention deficit disorder, or ADD. The drug is called Lewellyn, and some families and health experts say it's made all the difference in the lives of many children. But for some kids, successful treatment for ADD may come with dinner.
Your cat's wild.
Crystal Bailey is a bright, energetic 9.5-year-old thirsty for knowledge.
African wild cats.
Up until 3 months ago, even Crystal admits she was a terror.
I was squirmy. I couldn't sit still, and in the classroom, I was loud, I was bad, and I didn't follow the teacher's instructions.
Her teacher said she needed Lewellyn. Crystal's mom said no.
I feel like that is encouraging a child to, you feel bad, take drugs. Makes you feel better. I don't want to encourage that.
Lewellyn certainly helps many children focus and learn better. Some teachers say it's the difference between night and day. Since it is a powerful stimulant, it's in the same category as cocaine and morphine. Some researchers continue to look for an alternative.
We'll try this program for 6 weeks and we'll see how he does.
Dr. Billy Saley believes nutrition, not drugs, fights the best fight against attention deficit disorder.
You have to correct the imbalance. And that's what this is all about. Imbalances, not suppressing the central nervous system so that they'll sit there like a vegetable. Correct the imbalance.
After testing for food allergies, Dr. Saley and Crystal's mom decided to try a nutritional supplement, Kids Plex. It was only a couple of weeks before they noticed a big change for the better.
Because I was making F's and D's, and I've changed that to A's and B's and some C's.
The makers of Kids Plex don't claim it's a magic powder. They say the litmus test for success in battling ADD is simple.
Whether it's a pharmaceutical, a nutritional material, whatever it is, in the end, it is obviously, it rises or sinks based upon whether it works and is it safe.
Let me tell you, it really has helped me. I don't really like the taste. It tastes like banana, but it's helped me a whole lot.
Now, Kids Plex is not available at any store. The product is sold only through a few doctor's offices. So if you're interested in Kids Plex, you might want to talk to your doctor about it. For more information about attention deficit disorder or a referral, you can call the info line. It's a free call. Once again, the number is 1-800-203-1234. 1-800-203-1234.
All right, they have this show called Friends on one of the other stations.
Never heard of it.
Maybe you've heard of it, I don't know.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Coming up next, Dan Kane will show us how one of the stars of the show is breaking into feature movies.
Also, a curtain call for the man who pioneered TV talk.
So the daytime television producer has to walk down this.
This building block of the new old State House is brought to you by Channel 3.
American democracy boasts a long line of champions who defended and promoted its ideals and Constitution. It was a pastor from Hartford, Connecticut, who 300 years ago proposed the model for our U.S. Constitution. His name after this.
You know whatever it takes, you can count on us. Keep it on us.
For eyewitness coverage that Connecticut trusts.
Keep it on us. We'll take you around the world or just across the street. Keep it on us.
We're bringing it home to you here at Channel 3.
Keep your eye on us with Channel 3.
In 1638, on the site of today's old State House, the Reverend Thomas Hooker preached his Sermon of the Fundamental Orders. It became the world's first written constitution and the model for our democratic government.
There he is. One of the longest-running careers in television has come to an end as of today. Phil Donahue, he taped his final Donahue show today. He's been at it for, can you believe it, 29 years. Phil started it all 7,000 episodes ago on a station in Dayton, Ohio, WLWD.
Well, we have some showers in the forecast, and Hilton will get to that in just a moment. I guess we're going to first talk about the Friends star David Schwimmer, and he's jumping from the small screen to the big screen with his feature film debut in the comedy The Pallbearer. And as Channel 3's Dan Kane tells us in tonight's Star Shot, Schwimmer is a comedian who is all business when it comes to his career.
Ma, we're talking. I can't believe you just walked in here.
I just want to know if you want some ice cream.
A little.
In The Pallbearer, David Schwimmer is a 25-year-old slacker living with his mom who is asked to deliver the eulogy at the funeral of a high school classmate he doesn't really remember.
I could spend countless hours recounting my personal experiences with Bill. The chess club.
Schwimmer is somewhat awed by his big screen persona.
I laughed. I just couldn't. I just laughed, not because anything I was doing was funny, just because I couldn't believe, I'm actually, my face was that big.
Schwimmer hit it big with the role of Ross on the TV sitcom Friends. In The Pallbearer, he plays a similar sort of fellow, a guy with lots of friends, and a crush on the girl he met in 7th grade, played by Gwyneth Paltrow.
So you remember me?
Are you kidding?
I'm Tom Thompson.
The 29-year-old Schwimmer just signed a 7-figure deal with Miramax, but he says he's still uncomfortable with his star status.
I'm human. I have mood swings, and I have things. I'm learning to kind of find the parameters within being gracious to a fan and maintaining a personal life.
The actor will turn director with Dog Water, a film to be shot this summer, but he says he has no plans to leave the sitcom that made him famous. For Star Shot, Dan Kane, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Now, The Pallbearer is rated PG-13, and it opens in this area tomorrow.
Indeed, and it will be a nice day for part of the day tomorrow.
Well, that's good. And we mentioned before some showers, but Hilton says, don't worry about it. Right, Hilton?
It's a seasonal sort of thing. I have reason to be optimistic regardless of the forecast, because you know what? We gain a lot of sunshine in the month of May, 1 full hour from the first day to the last day. So if you don't get all the sunshine you want this coming weekend, you got 3 more, and every day a little lighter than the next. Here's what's happening tonight. Clear skies, some clouds off to our southwest, little weather front out here, low forming along it, bringing some showers in our direction for part of the day tomorrow. Here's what's happening with temperatures around the area, ranging from 40 in Brattleboro to the mid-50s on Connecticut shoreline. And looking at some of your own hometown backyard readings, 55 in New Haven, Hamden, Meriden, 52 in Waterbury, 53 in Hartford, 47 in Windham, kind of chilly there. Bradley International Airport, 52 degrees is the current reading. So to sum it all up, 57 in Hartford, 55 on the shoreline in New Haven, and calm winds in Hartford. We like calm, don't we? All right, here's what's coming for tomorrow. Start the day partly sunny. This little front moves toward us. Clouds obscure the sun. Some showers move through. Maybe after a little morning shower on Saturday, drier air works in. Mostly cloudy, though, through the day on Saturday. In detail, here is the forecast. A moonlit sky out tonight, light winds, 40s on the shoreline, 37 to 45 inland, and for tomorrow, some sun, a few afternoon showers, becoming breezy, 60s inland, 55 to 60 on the shoreline. And looking ahead to tomorrow night, a lingering shower possible, temperatures near 50 on the shoreline, 45 to 50. And for Saturday, mostly cloudy, a passing shower, low 50s. And the 5-day planner, well, look at that. We've got showers off and on. Sunday, partly sunny. And Tuesday, a bright sunny day. But Tuesday could be a little windy, a little blustery. But you know what? May can be like that, can't it?
It can. And Sunday looks nice for the Walk Against Hunger.
It does. The better of the 2 days is Sunday this weekend.
All righty. Thanks, Hilton.
There are new documents tonight that suggest last week's recall by Ford, the largest ever by a U.S. automaker, should have been larger. Topping our Business Beat report, the evidence indicates 1986 Ford Aerostar minivans and full-size Econoline vans have also had the same fire problems related to a faulty ignition switch, and they should have been added to the danger list that was put out last week. The information discovered in part in an internal Ford memo. A radio station in San Diego generated a little excitement and some long lines today when for an hour and a half it offered listeners free gasoline. In some places out there, premium's been selling for more than $2 a gallon. As SNET makes its first foray into cable television, it has decided to add Waterbury and scratch New Haven. For technical reasons, Waterbury, they say, will be easier to hook up. Stocks fell sharply today after more signs of an economy picking up steam caused interest rates to rise in the bond market. The Dow Industrial slid nearly 77 points, finished at 5,498. Well, they're now ready to, well, just about ready to cue up the tape for tonight's late night adventure with David Letterman.
Now, I spoke with Letterman after tonight's taping about what it'll take to bring the show to Hartford.
And as we wait to hear about the Whalers season ticket drive extension, Harvey has highlights from the teams that made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Emmett Smith, Oksana Bayou, Shaq.
Big day for the Whalers tomorrow.
Yeah, what's the story?
Well, there's a lot of talk going on tonight around Hartford. The word that we have that will come tomorrow, the Whalers are going to extend their Save the Whale campaign to allow fans time to purchase 11,000 season tickets. Now, the Whalers are committed to making this hockey franchise work here in Hartford before leaving town. Exact numbers and deadlines will be announced tomorrow at high noon, and of course, Channel 3 will have complete coverage. But right now, the word is that they will extend that deadline. Stanley Cup Conference semifinals open tonight. Big surprise. Panthers shutting out the Flyers 2-0. Game 1, unbelievable. Let's go to the Spectrum. Scoreless first period. In the second, Stu Barnes nets his first playoff goal. 1-0 Panthers. John Van Briesbroek, perfect in nets. He stopped all 18 shots. Late in the third period, Florida on the power play. Barnes feeds Dave Lowry, who scores, and the Panthers shock the Flyers tonight 2-0. NBA playoff action. The Pacers stay alive, holding the Hawks scoreless for more than 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. They beat Atlanta 83-75, sending their series to a fifth and final game Sunday at Indianapolis. Let's go to the Omni. Pick it up. We're the Hawks mascot. Look at this guy. Is he having the time of his life or what? Take down Reggie Miller, who's out of the game. Rick Smits making like a guard on the dribble, slamming like a center here. He had 17 points and 9 rebounds. Christian Leitner knows the only way he's going to keep Smits down is by knocking him down and fouling. Christian, you're a bad boy. While the Hawks missed 13 consecutive shots at one point, Derek McKee hit for 14 points. Pacers win it 83-75, Game 5 Sunday at Indianapolis. Tonight in Houston, Hakeem and the Rockets trying to close out the Lakers. Look at the Rockets make the steal. Get it to Clyde Drexler for the easy 2. Jam. Backdoor to Robert Horry. Oh, Rockets making it look easy, but Magic Johnson is always looking for the loose ball. Check out Magic. He gets the ball, he feeds it to Eldon Campbell, but right now the Rockets lead it 69-62 over the Lakers fourth quarter. If the Rockets win, they close out the Lakers in that series. Baseball, the Yankees, fresh off their 2-game sweep of the Orioles, return home to beat the White Sox 5-1 with the long ball tonight. Let's go to Yankee Stadium. Ruben Sierra at the plate, gets the stadium rocking with this solo home run to right center. New York leads it 1-0 in the second. Jim Leyritz come to the plate in the fifth. 2-run blast to right. That gives the Yankees a 3-1 lead. Time for Paul O'Neill, and watch his stroke here.
Turn that fastball around.
Bam. That thing is just shot out of a cannon. Fourth homer of the year for O'Neill. Later, Ruben Sierra homers again. The first-place Yankees beat the White Sox 5-1. Red Sox and Mets have tonight off. Eastern League, Ravens lost 6-2 at Harrisburg, but the Navigators beat Trenton 5-2, thanks in part to a suicide squeed bunt. Let's go to Dodd Stadium. Tim Naring, who is rehabbing his way back to the Red Sox, bangs his home run to left field. Naring was 1 for 3 tonight. Robert Hines with a suicide squeeze as Jaime Torres scored, and the Navigators go on to win tonight. The final score, 5-2. Don't forget, high noon tomorrow. The Whalers say they will extend the deadline.
And we'll be there.
We will.
Thanks, Harvey.
Okay.
I can't believe this. David Letterman trying to imitate Denise.
He tried. Up next, I'll talk one-on-one with Connecticut's most famous late-night talk show host. Stay with us.
Hey, we've got company here. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start of Late Night with David Letterman.
A couple of hours ago after tonight's taping, I spoke with Dave about bringing the show to Hartford. Now, since Letterman lives in Connecticut, I also asked him if he's lining up to get Whaler season tickets. Did you happen to get your season tickets?
No, I don't get on the mailing lists anymore. For some reason, I'm being ignored. And I got to tell you something. I've lived in Connecticut since 1983 or 84. And when I moved there, I thought, well, I'll be here for maybe a year. I'll be here for a couple of years. And I've been there now for 12 years. And to me, that state, it just gets better and better.
So that means then that you would like those season tickets, those
All right,
Whalers.
now see, Denise, here's what we have. You have your agenda. You want to talk about the Whalers tickets, and that's fine. And I want to talk about how much I like Connecticut. And you're desperately trying to combine the two. So, yes, send me the Whalers tickets.
Okay, we'll do that, Dave. Now, next week, as you know, you take your show to San Francisco, and we were wondering, you know, San Francisco is certainly a lovely city, a lot of character, a lot of history, but did you ever give any thought to taking your show, The Late Show in Hartford, maybe? How does that sound?
Well, it sounds great, but you know how this works, Denise. It begins with a phone call from someone of prominence in the local community to my office, and it goes a little like this.
Hello, Dave. This is Denise in Hartford.
Oh, hi, Denise. What's going on?
Why don't you bring the show to Hartford?
Okay, Denise, we'll be happy to. And Denise, I don't recall getting a call like that from you or anybody else.
I didn't call
You're
him.
on notice. You're going to call tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go, hello, Dave. This is Denise. Maybe that'll work. We'll try it.
All right, Dave's coming right up.
See you tomorrow. Good night.